Hello, and welcome to This Explainer. I'm Michelle. Today, we're going to talk about something incredibly important, yet surprisingly quiet. It's about those subtle, gentle changes that happen in a family home over time, and a really beautiful, modern solution that so many people are discovering right now. Whether you're a homeowner exploring your next chapter, or an adult child looking to help your parents find a little more joy and ease in their day-to-day, I am so glad you're here. Let's dive right in. So, let me ask you. Has your house felt quieter lately? It's a feeling that often creeps in pretty slowly for a lot of homeowners over 50. It's not dramatic, right? It certainly doesn't happen overnight. But one day you might just look around and notice that the daily rhythm has shifted. Maybe the neighbors you used to chat with over the fence have moved away. The kids are grown and they're visiting a bit less often. Your house is exactly the same, but the energy inside it has quietly changed. And if that resonates with you, I just really want you to know that your experience is completely valid. Actually, recent research from AARP reveals something pretty striking. They found that 40% of adults aged 45 and older in the US now report feeling lonely. Think about that, almost half. I share this data with you to really reassure you. If you've been feeling that quiet ache of an empty house, you are absolutely not alone. Millions of people are feeling this right now. It is not a personality flaw, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. It simply happens when the structure of your daily life, which, used to be built around work, kids, or a bustling neighborhood, just stops providing those natural connections it once did. Okay, moving into section 1. What is a 55-plus community? Redefining your next chapter.
Let's start with a really simple definition. A 55-plus community is a residential development specifically designed for adults aged 55 and older. But actually, scratch the image you might have in your head right now. I want to be super clear about what that actually looks like today. These are not the rigid, outdated facilities of the past. No way. In the Chicago area and south suburbs, they range so widely, from beautifully designed active adult apartment complexes to spacious townhome developments, all the way up to full-service communities with incredible on-site amenities. And most of these modern communities are designed around 3 core principles. First up is community. This just means having neighbors at a similar stage of life with shared spaces that create easy, natural connections without you having to force them. Second is convenience, essentially less maintenance. Imagine waving goodbye to lawn care, snow removal, and endless exterior upkeep, all those tasks that quietly drain your energy every single weekend. And finally, lifestyle. We're talking fitness centers, walking trails, social clubs, art classes, the whole shebang. The really crucial point here is that these 3 principles work together to take away the draining energy of maintenance and give you a fuller, much more vibrant life. Which brings us to section 2, the power of connection. Why who you see shapes how you feel. The connection between where you live and how connected you feel isn't just a nice, fluffy thought. It is heavily documented medical research. Back in 2023, the U.S. Surgeon General officially made this powerful declaration. Loneliness is a public health epidemic. I really want to emphasize this because it powerfully validates what so many of us are experiencing. It proves that the ache of an empty house is actually a structural issue within our modern society. It's not a personal failing. And the physical reality of that isolation is honestly staggering. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the health risks of loneliness are comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It's wild, right? It's also associated with higher rates of heart disease and cognitive decline. Now, I am sharing this comparison not to alarm you, for sure not, but to validate you. It means the quiet ache you might feel is real, it's incredibly common, and it is absolutely worth taking seriously. Community is simply one of the most powerful medical antidotes we have. That brings us to a really beautiful reframe. Moving into one of these communities isn't downsizing. It is opening up. Think about it. You aren't giving up your space. You are actively choosing to gain a community. You are trading empty rooms for a neighborhood filled with life, laughter, and ease. It's a real game changer.
Let's bring this to life in section 3, a story of change, Patricia's realization.
Because facts and figures are helpful, but human stories show us what's really possible. Let me introduce you to Patricia, a 68-year-old from the south suburbs. Patricia had lived in her family home for 31 years, and she wasn't unhappy. She had her garden, her routines, but after her husband passed and her last close neighbor moved away, months went by, and she started noticing that quiet ache of going days without a real conversation. Her daughter gently suggested looking at a 55-plus community. Now, Patricia resisted at first, feeling like it was giving something up. But one Saturday, she just went to visit. She saw a group of women having coffee in a shared lounge, just laughing together. And she realized she wanted to be part of that. 6 months later, she made the move. And I just absolutely love Patricia's realization here. She said, I didn't move because I was lonely. I moved because I finally understood what I had been missing. Isn't that wonderful? It wasn't about running away from an empty house. It was about walking toward joy, friendship, and community. Which brings us to our final section. Section 4, exploring your options. Is it time for a change? I really want to empower you here. Not everyone is ready, and not everyone should move right now. But it is always perfectly okay to gently explore your situation without any pressure whatsoever to make an immediate decision. There are some very relatable everyday signs that it might be worth simply looking at what this next stage of life could offer. Are you going days without a meaningful conversation? Does the house just feel a bit too large for the life you're living right now? Is the maintenance draining the energy you'd way rather spend on hobbies or family? Or maybe you simply have a gentle curiosity about what a new community could look like. Honestly, any of these are perfect reasons to start looking.
And please remember, exploring costs absolutely nothing. There are some wonderful free guides available to help you or your parents navigate this. For example, A Place for Mom has an excellent guide to Illinois 55-plus communities to see what's out there. There are also great guides on questions to ask before choosing, the pros and cons of active adult communities, and breakdowns on whether you should rent or buy. These are fantastic, totally pressure-free resources to help you gather information at your own pace.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, heartfelt thought. The house you've lived in for decades holds deep, beautiful meaning, and nobody is asking you to dismiss that. But the memories stay yours. They travel with you wherever you go. So if you were to trade that quiet house for a vibrant neighborhood, what could your beautiful next chapter look like? Thank you so much for joining me today. I warmly encourage you to start a conversation with your loved ones and just explore the possibilities.